You know what's scary? People now take loans for food, and it still feels normal. Not dangerous. Normal. Ever notice something strange? People today go into debt without feeling scared. Sometimes they even feel relieved. Only £28 a month, split into 4 payments, approved instantly. And suddenly something expensive starts feeling harmless. That's the dangerous part of modern debt. It doesn't stop you. It comforts you. And maybe that's the problem. Because people usually avoid things that feel dangerous. But modern debt rarely feels dangerous anymore. Imagine driving on a perfectly smooth highway. The road is so smooth. You keep increasing speed without even noticing. But the moment you hit a pothole, you instantly wake up. You slow down. You pay attention. That friction creates awareness. And modern payment systems removed that friction from spending. Now spending barely feels real. It just keeps happening quietly. That's why people now use buy now, pay later for groceries. And still don't consider themselves financially reckless. Because old debt used to feel heavy. Modern debt feels convenient. And that psychological shift changes everything. Picture this. Late at night, you pick up your phone just for a minute. Instagram, TikTok, Amazon. An influencer shows a new gadget. Designer sneakers, luxury headphones, a coffee machine. Your first reaction is usually honest. That's expensive. Then suddenly you see £19 per month. And your emotional reaction changes immediately. Same product, same total price. But your brain no longer processes it as a threat. Because monthly payments emotionally hide the full pain. And this isn't just a money problem. It's a nervous system problem. Because the brain naturally avoids large immediate pain, but it tolerates smaller recurring pain much more easily. That's why people hesitate to spend £1, 200 up front, but comfortably accept £100 per month. Even when the total cost is nearly identical, and companies deeply understand this psychology. That's why checkout pages rarely lead with the full cost. They lead with comfort, interest-free, easy approval, low monthly payments. The entire system is designed to remove hesitation, not increase awareness. And this is where things become dangerous. Because hesitation was never weakness. It was protection. Think about cash for a second. You physically handed money over. Your wallet got lighter. Your brain registered loss. Now, Face ID. One tap. Done. People spend £300 and emotionally recover in seconds. Because the transaction never fully reached the body. It just became a screen animation. And this is why modern spending feels memoryless. Ever driven somewhere and barely remembered the journey afterward? Because your brain was on autopilot. Modern spending works the same way now. Auto pay. Saved cards. One-click checkout. Subscription renewals. Gradually, people stop consciously spending, and systems start spending on their behalf. And most people realize this very late, usually a few days after payday, when they open their banking app, and the balance already feels strangely smaller than expected. Then the mental calculations begin. Phone financing, laptop payments, streaming subscriptions, gym membership, pay-in for deductions, credit card autopay. And the weird part? None of them individually feel dangerous. That's the trap. Ever seen a leaking faucet? One drop feels meaningless. But overnight, the bucket fills anyway. Modern EMIs work exactly like that. One payment rarely destroys flexibility. But 8 or 9 silent commitments slowly do. And by the time people notice, they're already trapped. Because everything felt manageable. And that word is dangerous. Manageable. Because people are no longer measuring freedom. They're measuring monthly survivability. That's the real psychological shift. People used to ask, "Can I afford this?" Now they ask, "Can I manage the monthly payment?" That tiny change reveals everything about modern financial behavior. Ownership stopped mattering. Monthly tolerance became the new definition of affordability. And this is why even high earners feel financially tight. Because as income rises, monthly obligations quietly rise too. And social media makes this even worse. Algorithms constantly manufacture desire. Apartment tours, travel reels, tech upgrades, lifestyle content, things you deserve, and the brain slowly shifts into comparison mode. Then BNPL systems arrive and remove the final layer of resistance. Desire plus painless checkout. That's the modern trap. And the scary part, this happens to intelligent people too. Because this is not a stupidity problem. It's a behavioral design problem. Ever walked into a supermarket for just milk and somehow left spending 42 pounds? Same psychology. Small harmless decisions. Large invisible consequences. And this is where phantom debt begins. Debt that is legally real, but emotionally invisible. Many people genuinely lose track of how many active payments they have. Because recurring deductions stop creating emotional memory. They quietly disappear in the background, until one day flexibility suddenly collapses. An emergency happens. Car repair, medical bill, rent increase, job issue, and suddenly reality appears all at once. The income was never truly free. It was already pre-committed. And maybe that's the hidden source of modern financial anxiety. People don't look broke, but they also don't feel movable anymore. Their future salary already belongs to multiple systems before it even arrives. And maybe the most uncomfortable part is this. Many people are no longer addicted to products. They're addicted to instant approval. Approved immediately. No waiting. Available now. That tiny dopamine hit becomes the reward itself. Not ownership. Not enjoyment. Just instant access. That's why excitement often disappears before the second installment even arrives. Think about how strange that is. You're still paying for the thing, but emotionally stopped caring about it weeks ago. And this is what makes modern debt psychologically dangerous. Because it doesn't begin with stress. It begins with comfort. That's why people slowly enter debt, without any dramatic moment. No single terrible decision. Just dozens of painless ones. And maybe that's why people keep checking their bank balance late at night, without fully understanding why they feel uneasy. Technically, life looks fine. Good salary, nice apartment, modern lifestyle. But internally there's a hidden tightness. Because somewhere deep down, the brain knows future income is already occupied. And slowly, that destroys psychological freedom. Eventually, people stop waiting for payday to feel successful. They wait for payday just to feed the system again. And that might be the most uncomfortable middle-class truth of all. But here's the important realization. The problem isn't EMI itself. The problem is that modern systems made spending emotionally silent. Danger no longer arrives loudly. It arrives softly, conveniently, friendly. And maybe that's why it works so well. Because people get trapped fastest by things that feel safe. not by things that feel dangerous. So maybe the better financial question is no longer, can I manage this monthly payment? Maybe the better question is, if this feels emotionally painless, what am I failing to notice? Because sometimes friction isn't the problem. It's the warning system. And most people realize that only after flexibility is already gone.